Hi, it's Mike Stevenson here. In today's video, we're going to take a look at an example of using the Logic App Designer to generate a unit test using the Logic App test framework from Microsoft. So here I am in my Logic Apps solution. We're looking at this Hello World Logic App, and you can see up here we've got our basic Logic App, which does a very simple scenario of receive a request. It calls a helper function that's an inline function, returns the response. And we've got a little button up at the top here inside the designer. So in the previous video, we used an example run of the workflow where I had to trigger it with Postman. We could generate a test from that previous run. But this time we're going to use the designer, and we're going to create a test from the designer itself. So if we click the button here, and we'll get a prompt to give us the name for the test. So we'll have Mike Hello World Designer. And what that's going to do is that's going to go and generate some code. And we're over here now in my test project. So here's the folder it's created for us. And if you remember, we've got a test project called Logic App. We have one folder per workflow, and then each time you generate a test, it's going to put a folder in and put the tests in it. And then you may also have these mock objects here that'll get generated for you as well. So if we have a look at what's been generated for us, so here one of the big differences is in the last video when I generated from a run history, we obviously had some sample data that it used from the run. So it created some mocks for us, and then it basically lets us replay that test. This time it's a little bit different, so it's coded up. You know, we've still got these multiple test scenarios here, but it's coded up the code for us. And you can see here it's created the trigger mock in code. It's created the action mock, but at the minute it's going to not really return anything. So if you see here, if I go to the right here, it's going to return the action mock, but we haven't really set any properties on it. So that's really given us the work to do ourselves, and this is where it's really going to make us set these properties here for returning. So this example here was the function call. Now, if you remember in the previous video, because we had the JSON file with the test data in it, it was all pre-set up for us. So I think if you're going to generate a test from the designer, then obviously you're going to have to do a fair bit of additional code and to like properly return the value. So my gut feel is, from a developer productivity perspective, most of the time you're going to trigger it manually and then replay an existing run and modify it, just because I think it'll save you a bunch of code writing here. Now, if we go further down, you can see that the rest of it's very similar to before. So we create the test run executor. We're passing the workflow in, passing the mocks in, and then we do some really basic assertions here to check the workflow was successful. And then I think if we go further down, you'll see this one's another success scenario. And then I think this time, if I'm right, we didn't actually generate a failure scenario. So the generate from the designer, it's nice while you're building the workflow, but it's going to be a little bit simpler in terms of what gets generated. So you're going to have to do more work here than if you're using a previous run to drive the test. Thank you for listening to today's video. In the next video, we'll dig a little bit deeper into some of the assertions that you might do with a workflow.